Hello class, Marcel here, signing on. Today's topic is just one of the topics in TESDA free online program in B1 of the TESDA Certified, a topic aligned in your work immersion entitled Sustainable Development in the Workplace. Before you watch this discussion, make sure that you had watched the video from TESDA entitled Introduction to Sustainable Development and another video entitled Workplace Resources. Let's begin. First, let's talk about workplace resources. In pursuit of having an environmentally sound workplace, it is important to learn how to identify and monitor the current usage of resources to help reduce and minimize the quantity of potential wastage in your workplace. Ways and practices in monitoring resources differ from one workplace to another. It varies from one company to another. To start with, you should have watched the video of the basic steps on how to monitor your workplace resources from TESDA, which is provided in this lesson. The first step in monitoring workplace resource usage is to identify and make a list of the resources used in your workplace. You can categorize workplace resources into these four most common resources. These are the resources actually you can see or use in a workplace, such as electricity, fuel, supplies in the materials, water. Of course, let's not forget the water. Now let's go beyond first to electricity. With the mechanization of industries, electricity has been an essential part of the day-to-day work. There are two main categories of electricity based on its source. We have the non-renewable energy and renewable energy. Look at your screen. We define electricity as a kind of energy that powers lights, devices, and appliances, and a lot more. Now, to compare with the renewable energy and non-renewable energy, you get to look and read the definition on your screen. Renewable energy comes from resources which are naturally replenished, such as the following. And then we have the non-renewable energy, which comes from resources that will run out and will not be replenished, such as, look at the picture again on your screen. Now we have a trivia here on the right side of your screen. Says, did you know that in the Philippines, the total power generation are as follows? 48% comes from coal, 24% comes from renewable energy-based generating facilities, 22% comes from natural gas, and 6% comes from oil-based generation. As you can see, it is clearly shown here that the big part comes from coal. The water. Water is at the core and is critical in achieving sustainable development. Of course, not only sustainable development, it also includes healthy ecosystems and for human survival itself. It is used in different workplace activities from industrial processes, chemical handling to cleaning and maintaining workplace equipment. There are two categories of water based on its source. We have the surface water and groundwater. So look at your screen for the illustration. As you can see, the water has been defined, the clear liquid that has no color, taste, or smell that falls from clouds as rain, that forms streams, lakes, and seas, and that is used for drinking, washing, and a lot more. And then the surface water, these are the water on the surface of the planet. The groundwater, these are the water beneath Earth's surface. And these are the two sources of the water. And we have another trivia here on the right side of your screen. Looking at it, the big part has 80%, which shows there are 80% of water withdrawn was used for agricultural purposes. That's a big part. And the smallest part is 2%, which was used for other non-consumptive use of water and recreation. So the source of this is FAO way back year 2012. Now for the supplies, materials, and equipment, let us define it. Looking at your screen, so what are supplies? People often confuse office supplies with materials and vice versa. In bookkeeping, supplies refer to consumable items used to aid the day-to-day operations of your business, like the ink, paper, chemicals, and a lot more. So that is for the supplies. Now look at your screen. You read the description of the materials and then read also the description for the equipment. Here are some of the most commonly used office supplies. We have the desk supplies, paper products, filing supplies, binding supplies, computer printing supplies. Also included pens, pencils, markers, highlighters, paper clips, tape, rubber bands, bond paper, writing pads, copy paper, notebooks, sticky notes, file folders, packet folders, tabs, file labels, staples, glue, binders, ink cartridges, of course the disk, the CD-ROMs, or the so-called USB flash disk. They are just among of the so many supplies, materials, and equipment used in the workplace. Now let's talk about measuring workplace resource usage. Now that we have identified the different resources used in your workplace, we can now proceed on measuring and calculating your workplace resource usage. Measuring workplace resource usage is not only essential for monitoring your expenses, but it is also a key factor in establishing environmentally sound workplace. Data on workplace resource consumption is needed in devising workplace environmental policies that could help revise the workplace environmental policies, especially on resource conservation. The energy and water consumption. Taking direct readings from your meter will provide the most reliable method of determining usage. And in order for you to do that, you have to make sure, you should know how to read the meter correctly. Energy and water consumption is often measured with the help of meters. You have that at your home. There are two commonly used meters in the Philippines. Look at your screen. We have there the sample analog or electromechanical meter. This is the old one, but majority are still using this. Then we have now the latest, the digital meter. Many are already using this type of meter. So how to read an energy meter. So on the next slides, we're going to determine how to read an electric meter, both analog and digital meter. First, you have to identify the three parts of an analog meter. By looking at your screen, you can see the types of the different parts of analog meter. We have the unit of measure, we have the dials, the disc, and of course the consumer number. Looking at the analog electric meters, sometimes it is, what you see is 4, but the others have 6 dials. This is the indicator of the usage of electricity in kilowatt per hour. Next, you read the dials on your meter. So how do you read it? As the instruction says in there, you read it, stand directly in front of your meter and look at the dials. Record the numbers starting from the rightmost dial. These numbers will now be considered as the present reading. So how are you going to read it now? Let's pinpoint it on the screen. So where this 2 came from, it came from here. To the dial letter D. And then 8 from dial C. And then a 0, dial B. And then 5, dial A. That is how are you going to read your energy meter and analog meter. To complete these steps, you need now to compute your current electrical usage. So how are you going to do that? For example, this is your present reading. You deduct it with the previous reading. Where are you going to get the previous reading? That is indicated in your last billing statement. Now, the difference of present reading and previous reading is your current usage. So, based on the given, this is the current usage. Reading a digital electric meter is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Very easy compared to the analog one. How to read a How to read a digital meter is as simple as looking at it. Okay, So whatever the reading you see here, that is the present reading. Then again, to get the current usage, just do the same with what you do with the analog reading. So you have to deduct the present reading to the previous reading to get the current usage. And so that's it for part one. Watch our for part two. Remember this: faith, hard work, and a bit of common sense will get you through most things in life. Thank you for watching. This is Mom Says, signing off.